The crystalline chambers of the Galactic Council gleamed under the light of 1,000 distant stars. Representatives from across the known universe had gathered for what they believed would be a routine ceremony, the formal integration of humanity into the cosmic hierarchy. For millennia, the Council had operated under a simple principle: new species paid tribute, acknowledged their place, and survived. Those who refused were made examples of. Melissa Chen stood at the center of the grand hall, her boots clicking against the polished floor as she approached the semicircular dais where the council sat in judgment. Behind her, Tanner Morrison kept pace, his hand resting casually near the sidearm that hung at his hip, not threatening, but not entirely relaxed either. "Human!" the voice of Counselor Vexthar boomed through the chamber, his 6 eyes blinking in what passed for amusement among the Crothian species. "You stand before the oldest governing body in this galaxy. For 3 million cycles, we have maintained peace and order. You will now pledge your species' loyalty and deliver your first tribute, 20% of your annual resources, as is customary for all newcomers." Melissa's expression remained neutral. She'd been chosen for this mission precisely because of her ability to maintain composure under pressure. A former negotiator who'd brokered peace between Mars and Europa during the Water Wars, she understood the delicate dance of diplomacy, but she also understood when diplomacy had limits. 20%, she repeated calmly. "Of everything we produce?" "Correct," confirmed Counselor Zurich, a floating mass of bioluminescent gas who spoke through a translation matrix. "This is non-negotiable. All species contribute. It is the price of protection, of membership, of survival." Tanner shifted slightly behind her. He'd seen combat on the outer colonies, fought against pirates and raiders in the dark between stars. He recognized predators when he saw them, regardless of how many limbs they had or what atmosphere they breathed. "Protection from what, exactly?" Melissa asked. The question caused a ripple of what might have been laughter through the assembled aliens. Counselor Vexthar leaned forward, his massive frame casting a shadow across the floor. "From us, of course," he said, dropping all pretense of civility. "Every species that has ever refused has been reduced to ash and memory. Your ships are primitive, your weapons, crude. You have one colony beyond your home system. We have fleets that span galaxies. This is not a negotiation, human. This is an inevitability." Melissa took a long, slow breath. Behind her, she could feel Tanner's anticipation, his readiness for whatever came next. Back on Earth, in the halls of the United Nations, in the military command centers scattered across 3 worlds, humanity waited for her response. They'd spent months analyzing the Council's operations. The tribute system wasn't about resources. The Council had access to entire star systems worth of raw materials. It was about dominance, about ensuring that no species ever grew strong enough to challenge them. It was subjugation dressed up as diplomacy. Humanity had faced down extinction before: nuclear war, climate collapse, AI singularities. Each time, they'd survived by refusing to accept the unacceptable. "I need to confer with my colleague," Melissa said. Vexthar waved a dismissive claw. "Make it brief." She turned to Tanner, who leaned in close enough that only she could hear him. "Well," he whispered. "You know what command said," Melissa murmured back. "If they won't negotiate in good faith, we send the message. You sure about this? No walking it back once you say it." Melissa glanced at the council members, at their smug certainty, at the way they looked at her like she was already beaten. She thought about humanity's history, about every time someone had demanded they kneel. "I'm sure," she said. She turned back to face the council, her spine straight, her chin raised. Tanner moved to stand beside her rather than behind, a subtle shift, but one that spoke volumes. "Humanity has considered your offer," Melissa announced, her voice carrying clearly through the vast chamber. And? Vexthar prompted. Melissa smiled. It wasn't a friendly expression. No. Silence crashed through the hall like a physical wave. For several heartbeats, no one moved. Then Councillor Zurich's gases swirled in agitation. You refuse? That's correct, Melissa confirmed. We refuse your tribute. We refuse your protection. We refuse your counsel. Humanity will make its own way among the stars. Vexthar rose to his full height, nearly 10 feet of armored muscle and barely contained rage. You condemn your species to extinction, he roared. We will mobilize our fleets. We will reduce your worlds to cinders. You're welcome to try, Tanner said conversationally, finally speaking up. But you should know. We've been preparing for this conversation for 6 months. Every ship you have within 50 light-years of our space, we know where they are. The antimatter mines we've seeded along your approach vectors, already armed. The quantum torpedoes we reverse-engineered from that derelict Crothian warship we found drifting in our outer system, fully operational. Melissa picked up the thread seamlessly. Humanity didn't survive this long by being easy prey. We didn't claw our way to the stars so we could bow to the first bully we encountered. You want a war? We'll give you one. But it won't be the easy slaughter you're used to. You're bluffing, Zurich hissed. Your species is barely Type 1 on the Kardashev scale. Maybe, Melissa agreed. But we're also the species that split the atom just to see if we could, then immediately weaponized it. We're the species that invented mutually assured destruction and lived under it for a century. We're the species that thrives on being underestimated. She stepped forward, and for the first time, uncertainty flickered across the faces of the council members. So here's our counteroffer, Melissa said quietly. Humanity joins the Galactic Council as equals, not subjects. We trade freely, we defend ourselves, and we pay no tribute. Or you can try to make us. Your choice. The silence stretched out, taut as a wire. Finally, Vexthar sank back into his seat. The council will need to deliberate. Melissa nodded. You know where to find us. As she and Tanner walked out of the crystalline chambers, their footsteps echoed in the stunned quiet. Think they'll come after us? Tanner asked once they were clear. Maybe, Melissa said, but they'll think twice about it now, and thinking twice, that's all we needed. Behind them, the Galactic Council faced an unprecedented situation. For the first time in 3 million cycles, someone had said no, and meant it.